Shit. Oh my gosh, that was so epic. I think that's it. There he is. You guys ready? Let's pull it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Hey! And JB's on there! 600! 600! Yes! Yay! 600 mile time. That would be just... So here we are, back with the real supercharger. Okay, we are on the test track.
They'd recommend putting your head on the headrest.
Okay.
There he's ready. Nope.
Yep. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that never gets old either. We have the post-study production cars here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, oh yeah, you watch it.
Well, why is he gonna throw it?
I don't know, but we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
He just used a sledgehammer. What?
Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
I'm Eric, otherwise known as Derek, here in Shanghai at Gigafactory 3. Ballapalooza.
It's like tricks.
3, 2, 1.
Will it wipe is the big question of the day.
Will it wipe?
Generic cornflakes.
Whoa! It's raining cornflakes! Oh. This is trippy. Look, there's nothing here. Welcome everybody. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. We did not live stream over the weekend because it was the Super Bowl.
But well, not like we were watching it, but
Not like we were watching it, but we
figured
figured
everybody
most
else
people
was going to
were.
be watching it, so we're not going to compete with that.
Yeah, the Super Bowl's a little bit bigger than we are. We'll admit it. So we decided to just kind of let people do that. But we've also been doing a ton of work around the house for some videos. Can't really say much. Anyway, it'll be exciting once we can. It's a long process, and it's been taking, what, several weeks so far.
Yep.
And we have several weeks more. But more on that maybe later. Maybe Diego. I see Diego's in chat, so maybe we'll leak it. Anyway, so we want to talk about the Audi e-tron GT that premiered today.
And to answer the question of the video title, no, it is not Audi's answer to the new Tesla next-gen Roadster. Not even close.
No, and originally we had no idea what we were going to see going into this. And here we are. I'm not very impressed. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Anyway, so let's just kind of go over it. We thought about live streaming the actual presentation. I'm glad we didn't though, because we would have gotten like majorly copy strike, and it would have been really bad. But anywho, oh well, we have Layden in the room today. Hi. Anyway, here you go. This is their webpage. They did a whole little unveiling thing. It was typical stuff. But we got to see like the official e-tron GT, which to be honest doesn't look as fun as the rendering that we kind of had, that we used for like the thumbnail. So that's kind of disappointing, to say the least. But we made this fun little chart. Hold on. My computer's not working now. Fun. We'll give it a second. We made a little chart that talks about like some of the specs and everything. And this is fun. Wow. Okay, well, we'll give that a minute to kind of do its thing. And then we'll go over the specs. But I don't know. I kind of wanted to see what everyone's opinion was on it. And then I'll show some more photos once my computer decides to wake back up. But basically, long story short, it doesn't look bad. The exterior, actually, I'm kind of a fan of. It's the interior has a lot of buttons, which I'm not too much of a fan of.
Yeah, and the interior also has a few extras that Tesla doesn't have, and still doesn't have that we know of to this day, even with the new Tesla that's coming soon. But they have a lot of nice features, such as massage seats and things like that. But not something that everybody needs. But yeah, it definitely looks nice on the inside.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, like you said, kind of lots of controls and stuff going on.
Lots of controls. Sorry, I had to restart the computer. It died, so we're restarting this. It should be back in a minute, and we'll show you the photos that we're kind of talking about. But there's a lot of buttons, and like I've grown to not want buttons, and so that's kind of disappointing.
Also, we saw that the little center console screen is only 10.1 inches, which is really small compared to what we've seen in Teslas for like the last 9-10 years.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go. We are finally loading back up. Wow, that took way too long. Anyway, here we go. So going back down. Wow. Okay. Well, we're gonna do some updates. Up. It's still booting up. Lol. Love technology. Hopefully it's done. We'll give it no, it's not done. We'll give it just a second. But this center screen, it just like, there's so much going on. So much going on. Here, we're now good. So I do love the carbon fiber along here, but you get this kind of, dare I say, dinky 10-inch screen. Pretty small if you ask me. And then all these buttons down here kind of past the steering wheel behind it. All these buttons down here and here. I don't understand the need for all the buttons when I wish they would make it just more of a single display, personally. I found it interesting that the air vents, though, are under all that. Interesting kind of thing there. Now you'd have stalks here. So we are not going to have that on the 2021 Model S and X. So, I mean, you get some, you lose some. But overall, I think the interior... The finishes look pretty nice. Just the buttons kind of kill it for me. But we have this cool little chart that we made. I'm going to tweet it out in just a second so everyone can kind of retweet it and look at it later if you would like. But we wanted to do some comparisons here. So we actually compared the 2021 Audi GT and both the e-tron GT and the RS GT to the 2021 Model S long range and plaid, 2021 Model 3 long range and performance, as well as a little throwback here to the 2012 Model S.
Yeah, just to show, where Tesla is and where Audi is.
Exactly. Watch out for the cord there. But yeah, we kind of wanted to show everybody this and to put some specs here. So here we go. The price, you can see, is more in line with the S's. The 3 is just a lot cheaper, which is to be expected. The range, though, here, the 2012
pretty
Model
disappointing
S,
on the range, because here we are, 2021, and their range is still less than what Tesla was offering with the same size battery 9 years ago.
Exactly. And so you're looking at 232 miles to 238 miles, depending on which variant you get, whereas the 2012 Model S was 265. And
Performance,
now,
yeah.
the performance. So the 2021 Model S, you're getting 412 to 390, which is...
Is that for the
That's pretty crazy. This is the long range and then the plaid number here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that alone is kind of nutty, especially when you look at the price. The price is big here. Battery size. So the Audi GT has 85 kilowatt hours usable, but it's actually a 93 kilowatt hour pack. 2021 Model S, we're still not 100% sure.
Yeah, there's some talk that it might actually be less than 100 kilowatt hours just because the range did increase, but they've made some other reductions in the weight and stuff.
Yeah.
And using new cells, new battery pack, it's possible they've actually decreased the size but increased the range on the new Model S.
Exactly. So it's a question mark. Previous models were 100 kilowatt hour packs, so that's kind of what we're assuming. Still TBD, but you have that range to kind of coincide with that. Whereas the Model 3 is a 75 kilowatt hour pack. But here, again, the 2012 Model S has basically the same usable kilowatt hours as the new 2021 Audi GT. As in terms of charging, you can see they do have up to 270 kilowatts, whereas the S and the 3 are at 250, and the old 2012 Model S was only 90. So they have a little bit of edge there.
Yeah, and Tesla did upgrade their batteries over the year. So in 2012, they didn't even have supercharging, but
Yeah.
when it did come out, they had the 90 kilowatts. But over the years, they upgraded it to 120, 150, and even now, our 2017 car can still charge at close to 200 kilowatts.
Yeah.
And so we do see that Audi does hold. That's one figure they do have that's better with 270 kilowatt charging. But we haven't seen what the Plaid will offer, or the Plaid Plus at least. And
Yeah.
because I'm expecting it will have even more.
That'll definitely be
maybe even
higher.
350. We don't know yet. It's not out, so we can't confirm. But yeah, so they have that. But as you mentioned earlier, that the Model S might actually still charge charge faster, just because it has a
Bigger
larger
battery.
battery pack. And
Yeah.
so, for those of you who don't know, when batteries charge faster when they're empty, and then as they approach the top, they have to slow down. But since the S would have a larger pack, it might be able to actually charge faster.
Yes. And then, so next up, 0 to 60 times. Basically, for $100,000, the least you're going to get is, actually, sorry, for $100,000, you're getting 4.1 seconds.
Wow.
Whereas if you want to spend, sorry, my times are backwards. If you want to spend $140,000, you can get it down to 3.3 seconds. Or you can spend $48,000 on a Model 3 Performance and get it in 3.1
Wow.
seconds.
So save 100,000. I mean,
You can almost buy
90,000.
2.5 cars.
Yeah. And again, they're not the same class of car. They're
Yeah.
totally different in size and interiors and stuff. But depending on what you're looking for, you can save a lot of money getting a 3.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest,
Or you can spend a lot of money on an Audi.
yeah, the 2021 Audi GT is more like the 2021 Model S, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you look at the performance, the numbers, the 2021 was faster, at 3.9. And when I
Yeah.
bought my 2017 S, it was like 4.1 seconds, and that was several years ago.
Yeah. Top speed, not like many people will ever even experience this, but we threw it in there because it's kind of fun. Drag coefficient, that's actually a big one because this is very important, especially for electric vehicles. The better coefficient you have, the less wind resistant you're going to have, and you're going to be able to go further on a single charge. So the drag coefficient of the 2021 Audi GT is 0.24, whereas the 2012 Model S is 0.24. Model 3 0.23, and the new 2021 Model S is 0.208, which is really, really low. So that's kind of interesting. And then the screen, kind of like we talked about, for the Audi is 10.1. The Model S's have been 17 inches, and the Model 3 Model 3 is 15. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I was just looking at that and was like, wait a minute.
I don't know some of
That
these numbers,
seemed-
and some of these numbers you don't like buy the car because of the size of the
Yeah.
screen. But it's amazing to see to this day that Tesla still has like the largest one, and they can fit so much more on there, and that's why they don't need all those extra controls, I guess.
Exactly. And then other things here that I found interesting is it will have a heads-up display, which we've been big proponents of.
Yeah.
We've really wanted Tesla to do that.
Yep.
And then it will have massage seats, which sounds like a blast. I'm a fan of that, as long as it's good massage seats. So I don't know. It would be interesting to kind of check it out. That being said, we definitely are going to be checking out this car as soon as we can get our hands on one. But we wanted to kind of show these specs and kind of go over a little bit. I think the exterior, beautiful. The interior, a little bit more buttons than I'd prefer. But overall, I actually think the interior looks pretty darn nice. But I think what kind of kills it for here are the specs. And just the lack thereof, they almost kind of seem like they're caught as like the 2012 Model S was. That being said, you have to start somewhere with an EV, so we'd love to see it. But they already had the e-tron out, so I guess I would have expected a little bit more beyond that. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, I haven't been to the forums, but I've heard some people having problems. I mean, people have problems with Teslas as well, but it doesn't sound like their first e-tron has been that trouble-free.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, overall, like I said, we do love to see it. It's just interesting to see that it almost appears that the 2021 Audi GT is in a very similar position to the 2012 Model S.
Yeah, and it's nice that there is competition, but
Yes.
it's just like we've been hearing for years that in 2 years they're going to have a Tesla killer, and they say that's not just about Audi, but pretty much all the other competitors out there, and they keep saying they're going to have a Tesla killer, but they're not killing it with one that has specs that are basically what Tesla had 9 years ago.
But also that $100,000 price.
Yeah.
Minimum. I think that's the big thing is people have grown accustomed. Yeah, that's the mic. Don't eat that. People have grown accustomed to seeing the Model 3 and the Model Y pricing and what you get for that pricing. And I think a lot of people are going to be hesitant on this. The great thing, though, is now that Audi has more of a smaller sedan, because the other e-tron is kind of like an SUV, crossover SUV size.
Yeah.
It's a bigger vehicle. So now hopefully some other Audi fans will actually jump into this rather than just continue going down the gasoline vehicle.
Yeah, and this might be where the market is. Maybe they're just looking for converting some of their existing Audi, loyal
Exactly.
Audi customers. I don't think they're going to get any Tesla customers. Maybe a few. I'm sure there
Maybe
will be
a
some. But if people really compare the specs, I guess it depends. If you really want the interior, maybe they would go for the Audi. Or if they're just not pleased with Tesla, some people have had some bad experiences, maybe they would switch. But I don't know. Some new buyers, I think, that if they compare the two, I think that Tesla would win out on most of the performance numbers.
It definitely. And I think the biggest thing when people look at an EV is the range.
Definitely, yeah.
That is the number one reason people are hesitant on EVs, is people are concerned with the range. They're also concerned with charging speeds. But to be honest, most people that can charge at home do. And you wake up every morning with a full battery regardless.
Most of your charging, if you're doing a commute, this is more than enough for a local drive. Most people don't commute that far. So it shouldn't be a problem. The problem is on road trips, Tesla will still have the Audi beat any day. Just because, this does have 200-something mile range, they're going to have to stop a lot more to charge. And the network, like EV America's network, is still not nearly as widespread. They're not close enough that a car like this will be able to travel easily across the entire country, whereas Teslas can pretty much go anywhere on the interstate system, and now Tesla's building it out so they can go off the interstate in most states as well.
Yeah. A couple of comments people have had is Apple review said I was going to get a Rivian over the Tesla Cybertruck, but then I looked at the range and the Cybertruck has way more range than the Rivian, so I was planning to get the Cybertruck instead. I agree. And the nice thing is you have that supercharging network, which I guess the Rivian is working on their own. So hopefully we hear a little bit more
for like
about
this
that.
one, I think a lot of people might accept a shorter range or a small, if it costs half as much. But when they're charging, if Tesla can offer almost 180 miles more for the same price or less,
that's a tough one for sure. It puts Audi in a tougher position to sell their vehicle. So I think Mark kind of hit it on the head here. Is nobody buys an Audi because it's cheap. They buy an Audi because it's expensive, makes them feel superior. But you have those like Audi loyals, and to be honest, like it looks very nice from the exterior. I actually probably prefer the look of this over the Taycan. But the interior is a little bit meh to me. But overall, if it had the range, I think that price would be a little bit more warranted.
Yeah, but also if we didn't put it on a little chart there, but if you include the Lucid Air or something that, there's no competition. The Tesla and Lucid Air are very close in specs and features.
Yep.
The Lucid Air does have a very nice interior as well. But and we've seen that with the new 2021 Model S that's coming out, they've made a lot of changes. We don't know all the details yet, and I don't think maybe they're finalized, but they haven't been revealed to us. But Tesla is improving their interior.
Exactly, and that's the one thing I was going to say is the nice thing with the Audi is known for having very luxe interiors, and the more competition EVs get, the more it will push Tesla to make their interiors even more luxe. But we might have a pretty darn nice interior on these 2021 S's. We just haven't been able to see it in person yet. Yeah. So it could be kind of on par with the Audi. You never know.
We'll see, because that's one thing that, like we were talking earlier, Tesla hasn't ever had the massaging seats. And again, I've never had a car with massaging seats, so I don't miss it.
Yeah.
But maybe
it seems very nice.
Maybe that's something they'll add. We don't know.
Exactly. Amy said, I'm waiting for them to use Robert Downey Jr. for the commercials. Iron Man drove the concept car in the last Avengers movie. Oh, that'd be cool. That would be pretty sweet. Chris said, bring heads-up display to Tesla cars. Agreed.
Yeah,
We've been wanting that for how many years?
We thought, probably since 2017, we were thinking, since they got rid of the instrument cluster on the Model 3, that was before the Model 3 was unveiled, but we heard that there wasn't going to be an instrument cluster. We thought, they're going to have a heads-up display. We tried a heads-up display in the S, but it was an add-on one. It wasn't great. It would be nice to have an integrated solution.
Yeah, exactly. Steve said, can Tesla actually give the Roadsters to the fans that earned them years ago? Enough is enough.
That would be nice. We're waiting.
Yeah, I mean, we're right there waiting.
We'll let you know when we get them.
We'll see. I mean, they've pushed it back, but I mean, to be honest.
But Tesla has contacted, they've added them to the people who earned them. They've added to their accounts. They have people who, did reserve them and paid for them in advance. Some of them, huge deposits. But they'll come eventually. They're a little off on the timeline because they brought the Model Y up and just recognized they needed to get that to market sooner than the Roadster.
Yeah. And there's also some things that they needed to perfect, like the batteries and the motors and stuff like that.
Because we're definitely expecting the new Roadster to have like the 4680 cells, and they've perfected those. They're starting to produce those in mass, but they're going to be using those on the Semi and the Cybertruck and the Plaid Plus. So I can definitely see those getting practice first, working out the kinks before releasing it in the next gen Roadster.
Yep.
But Tesla did contact people. They've added them to their accounts, and they've contacted those who they're added. They're not. It's not going away. They will be released when they're ready.
Yep. Chris said, my wife and I have 2 Audis, and we're getting 2 Model 3s this year.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations. Yeah. That'll be exciting.
Our neighbor has an Audi. But she's got like the, what is it, like the, kind of like a station wagon?
Is that, it's almost like a station wagon.
I don't know if it's what it is, what model it is, but it looks nice.
Yeah. Let's see. Amy said, my boss has an Audi, can't touch the Model Y. Yeah, I can see that. Let's see. Chris said, by the way, sat in a Lexus LS500, tested the massaging seats. It was awesome. I mean, it sounds pretty amazing. But Chris also said, I don't know why Elon hates heads-up displays. So the reason he doesn't really pursue or care to add heads-up displays, from my understanding, is he's going more for autonomy. And when the car is driving autonomously, you don't really need that. And I agree with that, but it's not there yet. And that's why I think it would have been nice if they had added it a couple of years ago and gotten a lot more use out of it.
The only thing is, if they had added it and then tried taking it away, everybody would be complaining. So
exactly.
This way, by not adding it, people won't miss it, supposedly. But just like we've seen with the Model 3, when they eliminated the instrument cluster, they do still have it on the S and X, which is nice. But just as we've seen with the new 2021 S and X that are coming out, they've changed the steering wheel to that new yoke, and they've eliminated the stalks because they're thinking with autonomous cars, you're not going to be driving as much, and you won't be needing those.
Exactly. Chris said, with 1,000 or so drivers out there using FSD beta, which we didn't even talk about,
There's no like full self-driving or anything
Exactly.
at all announced.
There's like a lane keep.
It has like lane keeping and steering assist and stuff, but it seems very limited compared to what Tesla has and has had for, the last few years.
Yeah. But Chris said, with 1,000 or so drivers out there using FSD beta, do you think any of the programmers' work as a result of those using FSD beta is improving Autopilot? I would think so, but I mean, that's a great question.
Yeah, I'm sure that, that whenever they disengage, or they have a way to report bugs and stuff like that. So if there's an issue, they can report that directly back to Tesla, and those are analyzed. And there is video of some of these, reports sent back as well, so Tesla can see if the car made a mistake. They can see why and why the user had to take over.
Yep. On said, were you guys affected by the brush fire out there in Morrison and Lakewood a couple days back?
It was
luckily
very close.
No.
Yeah.
But it was not that far away.
Yeah, it was east of us, tons of fire and smoke, but luckily we just smelled it. We weren't affected.
And saw it.
Didn't have to evacuate or anything like that.
Yeah. But yeah, luckily it was just like an open space, and I think it might have gotten part of the golf course.
Maybe,
but
yeah.
I don't believe any homes were destroyed. So
yeah.
That's always good news. A said, heads up displays are not that enjoyable. It just puts info you need once every few minutes at most, constantly in your face. Had it for 5 years and couldn't be fully shut off. I mean, see, that's the thing, is that I would want it so that I could turn it off potentially, because if I'm going,
just put tape over it.
Put tape over it. I mean, if we're on a long road trip and you're on the same stretch of road for like hundreds of miles and you just set autopilot, I wouldn't want to look at that. That is a good point. I agree with that. Let's see. Connor said, my dad has the S5 and I beat it in a race in chill mode. LOL. Oh God.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It will be a lot of fun racing the Audi GTs and the Performance Model 3. That's all I'm going to say. And he said, people who are super brand loyal and people who think it's a status symbol will be the first purchase for the e-tron. Of course. And I honestly want to say, I went to an e-tron event. Did you go to that one?
I didn't go to that one. I think you saw Sean there, but yeah.
I went to an e-tron event here in Colorado, and it was a ton of brand loyalists, which I'm totally fine with. That's why I think Audi coming out with this is great, because it's going to get those brand loyal customers to potentially switch over to electric a lot easier than switching brands. So I think that's what they're kind of going after with this.
Another thing we should have probably added to that chart was we should have put some specs on there for another Audi that's an ICE, not an EV, to see how it compares. Because this might be enough, like you were saying, to get some of their brand loyalists to switch over from an internal combustion engine to an EV version.
True. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to check that out for sure. Yas said, Tesla is all about cost cutting now. No stocks, no buttons. I know. It's just all going away. I think like even back in the 2012 Model S, the Model S, it only had like 2 buttons still. The hazards and the glove box.
And then there was a third button on the left side, I forget. So hazard was...
Oh yeah. Hazard, glove box, and yeah, it used to be 2 buttons.
Or no, wait a minute. No, the hazard was the left button, the glove box was the right. So yeah, what was it? Maybe it was only 2 buttons.
Maybe it was only 2. Anyway, Tesla has always been pretty streamlined, clean interior without buttons, which I actually thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah, and like you see with the 3 and the Y, there's just like the hazard.
The hazard, and that's up top.
Besides the button, you maybe have a couple on the stalks and stuff, but again, Tesla's gotten rid of the stalks. There are a few buttons on the steering wheel, though.
Yeah, and somebody said the supercharger's off.
Oh my goodness, how could we forget that?
Sorry, guys. There we go. Let's say, D said, did Tesla change their mind and honor the old price for the Model S for those who ordered prior to the refresh? I've been getting this question a ton. They have not responded to my messages, so
yeah. That's what's weird. Is we still have our old orders shown where we locked in the price but with the $100 deposit. But several people said they were called or contacted by Tesla and said that they will not honor the new price, but you would get a $2,000 discount. Nobody has contacted us yet, and we do know that there's a lot of pre-orders out there. But it's been a couple of weeks now. You'd think that they would have been able to contact everyone.
Yeah. I don't know what's up with that.
But even if we don't get the whole discount of $10,000, we'd still at least save the $2,000. We'll see.
Yeah. Mark said, all you really need in a HUD is the speedometer. Anything else is just clutter. I've seen some that have like navigation, and that is kind of convenient. But I agree. For the most part, all you really need is the speedometer. Chris said it would also be great if we had the ability to end and accept a call using the scroll wheels on the Model 3 and Y steering wheel.
Well,
I thought I did.
You can't do that?
I thought I do have that. I don't really make a lot of calls in the car necessarily like that. I'm going to have to try that, though. And we will reconvene on Sunday on our next live
I'll have to
stream.
check that.
Let's see. Ken's 300X said, Audi looks great, range not so great, price not so great.
Yeah. Again, if it was
Great
half the
summary.
if it was half the price, it would have been fine. But at that price, you would expect a lot more range, over 330 or something like that. So.
Yep. Let's see. A little of this and that said, I don't doubt that it was hard for Tesla to keep the instrument cluster in the S and X in the new 2021. I mean, I'm sure that came up in a lot of conversations where they wanted to cut out that instrument cluster.
Yeah, but I know
I'm sure it was.
I think almost every Model S or X owner that I've seen online has said they love having that instrument cluster there. It's just nice to be able to put different apps or whatever up there, and just being able to see the speedometer. And yes, I've driven an S, the 3 and a Y. It's fine, you can get by with it, but I still like that instrument cluster.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Matt said speed will be less cool in a few years as more people get into the 2-ish seconds. And I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't go buy the Audi GT if the specs were as is, but it could do 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. We just kind of threw that on there because a lot of people like to see that. But to me, 4 seconds is plenty fast.
It's still,
I don't buy my regular cars to be racing them, and 4 seconds is still pretty darn quick. It's no problem to get up to speed or overtake a vehicle. So yeah, even if it was the exact same with a quicker 0 to 60, that wouldn't sway me.
It'll be interesting though in the years to come though, because car manufacturers aren't going to be able to push those specs anymore because there's a limit as to how low they can go.
Yep.
So, and I think Tesla will be hitting that with the next gen Roadster.
You bet.
Getting close to it with the Plaid Plus.
Chris Bates said all those Audi people want car sounds. The GT has exhaust notes. That's just dumb. Yeah, we were listening to that
right before we started the live stream, and it's like crazy. It's like, who wants that? I don't know. I guess the Audi owners.
Not me. Let's see. Chris said, I'm not sure if the Autopilot sensor shifting drive modes will work. I mean, that makes me super nervous because what if I am in a parking lot and there's no one around me? Sometimes I like to just drive through. Sometimes I might reverse. So how is Tesla going to figure it out what I want to do?
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know what they're discussing, is basically on the new S and X that were recently announced at the end of the fourth quarter 2020 call for Tesla. They said that there are no stocks, and the car will just automatically determine if you want to go in forward or reverse. And then they did say that there would be a button perhaps located down by the hazard button, but we don't know the details on that yet, and none of the pictures they've released so far, they're all mock-ups. None of them really show where that gear select lever would be.
Yeah.
Some people talk about maybe you could use the yoke and you could push it forward or reverse, but again, you don't want that to accidentally be engaged. So it'll be interesting to see. And of course, you can control it with the screen too, but you're going to need some physical button in case there are screen problems.
Yep, you bet.
Hey.
Amy, thank you for the $5. Said I'm just here for the
Amy.
confetti.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we have any right. Oh, yeah, there. Okay, yeah. Oh, you got the digital confetti.
I got the digital confetti.
Yeah.
So thank you, Amy.
You still need to refill those other ones.
Let's see. A little of this and that said, side note, I held down the car icon on my Model Y for a little too long. Message came up saying your bug report has been reported.
So yeah, and with that bug report, if you don't have the beta, then that is kind of just a way to write to the logs what your current state of your car is.
Or any issues that might be
They don't actually send it to Tesla. But what you can then do is, if you do have an issue, you can contact Tesla, like open up a service call in the app, and then tell them that you did a log, and then they can then connect to your car and get the log information. But from what we've heard, they don't just automatically download every time somebody records a log entry. And you can also do that by using the button, and you can say like record log or something like that and tell them something, but it doesn't get sent unless you actually contact the service center.
Yep. Chris said, I heard the 2021 Model S Plaid is getting the 4680 batteries. So it's a Plaid Plus. Is getting the new batteries. Unfortunately, the regular Plaid will not be. That's why you see that big range delta. Let me pull it up here. I have it like right here, almost ready to go on the dot because I was like, oh, maybe someone will ask that. So right here, you got the long range at 412. You have the Plaid at 390 and the Plaid Plus at 520. So really the biggest difference is this Plaid Plus is going to be coming with the 4680s.
Wow, and look at the Plaid Plus, the 520 miles versus what, 238 or something for the Audi GT high end. And
Exactly.
the price is almost
And
identical.
the price is actually less on the Plaid Plus than the fully loaded spec'd out RS GT.
So definitely.
And it's double the range.
Tesla definitely wins on the Plaid Plus. I mean, they win overall, but one thing that Audi has is they're probably going to be out before the Plaid Plus.
Yeah.
But the regular Plaid and the regular long range should be out next month, if not later this month.
Yo. Diego said Audi live stream bumming me out. More Tesla. We're on it. But yeah, we will be doing a Sunday live stream as well this week. We should be good. On to thoughts on GM committing to an all EV fleet by 2035. Other manufacturers committing to it too. I mean, it sounds great, and I'm happy. I just hope they commit, like fully commit. But that's still 14 years away.
Yeah, but I guess it's good they have it on their road plan or whatever.
Exactly.
They're going to be planning that out. There'll be a lot of new models coming out, I guess, in the next 15 years. But again, we've been waiting years for some Tesla killers, and we're still not seeing them.
Yeah. Let's see. Matt said, keep in mind the range, while not Tesla good, is way more realistic at highway speeds than Tesla's. We'll have to play with that.
I don't know, because the drag coefficient is the exact same as the old one, and the new Model S drag coefficient is even less. So you would think that the new Tesla.
Well, so I know a lot of people have said that the Tesla range that it states is much lower at highway speeds in actuality.
Well, that's the same with every car, though.
The Porsche Taycan actually did a lot better in testing, supposedly, more reflecting that correct mileage. But it's something that we'll definitely be able to test as soon as we get one to play around with. Let's see. D said that $10,000 is a big difference for the old Model S to the new refresh. Is it worth paying $79 now, or will you just cancel the order?
Good question. So for those of you who don't know, we do have reservations in for the regular Model S long range. We have one for the long range Model X, as well as for the Plaid. Well, it was originally just the Plaid, but when they brought out those other ones, they called it the Plaid Plus now. We made that reservation back in September. No, we will not be getting all three of those because we determined we don't need all three cars. And plus, that would be quite expensive. But we're probably eliminating the Plaid Plus just because we don't need that much performance at that price point. And so we're still waiting to see. We're probably going to be getting the X, but we're waiting to see about the S.
Exactly. I'm still kind of honestly waiting for Tesla to call me to tell me what the deal is, and then we'll kind of go from there. Let's see. Mark said, I want switches for headlights, wipers, and air suspension ride height. I'm okay with signals being steering wheel buttons. Switches for headlights, wipers, and air suspension.
Because some of those are on the stocks. They used to be on the stocks, and now they're on the wheel. And
that makes sense.
Yeah, and somebody pointed out, how the buttons on the S looks like the turn signal buttons are going to be up, above each other, one below, one above, instead of being like one on each steering wheel. And I guess that will allow you to do the turn signals with one hand, but it might not be as intuitive as if they had one on the left, one on the right.
Yep. Apple Review said, just went on Tesla's website, clicked on the Roadster. What's the big difference between Founders Series and just the plain Roadster?
$50,000.
$50,000. Getting it first, probably going to be numbered. As of right now, we don't really know. Some people are thinking that the Founders will be including the SpaceX package.
We don't know yet.
Which I could potentially see that. Besides that, normally Founders have a couple color options available, and I would assume that would be the case with this, especially being the price of the car. I would hope so. But we don't honestly really know.
Really, yeah, they haven't really given us much information because that event was at the December of 2017 when they unveiled the Roadster, and we haven't heard much about it. For a couple of years we didn't hear anything, but in the last few months of mid 2020 we did hear a little bit more, just that they are still planning on coming out with those and awarding them and delivering them to those who have reserved them.
Yep. Chris said, I hope FSD will be able to find shady parking spots in Phoenix in the summer. That would actually be kind of a
Be
cool
a nice
mode.
little option, yeah.
Yeah, it would
Or
be.
if you could choose, hopefully you can bring up the app. Now that was one thing I saw on the Audi. It says they will have the ability, it will have a self-park mode that you can control it via the app.
Oh, cool.
And I don't
okay.
have too many more details on that, but you can hopefully, I'm sure Tesla will have that as well, because right now you can bring the car to you, so hopefully we'll have a self-park mode as well, and maybe you can point to the shady spots of the parking lot and try to send your car over there.
That would be really awesome. Chris said, do you think the Autopilot sensors shifting drive modes will detect curbs? The ultrasonic sensors doesn't give you a warning for curbs, which I hate. It better.
Yeah, it's got to. Yeah, and that's why we're waiting for that call that Elon announced they're going to have a call to discuss in more detail about the S and X refresh that are coming out. We're still waiting here because we've seen rumors that there's Autopilot has changed slightly. We definitely know that the S and X will now have the new interior camera, but there's also rumors that it will have some upgraded sensors as well.
Yeah.
So we don't know if that will include other cameras or just different radar or additional radars. So it remains to be seen.
Yep. Mark said, I don't care if they take away the stocks as long as there's a physical button for those few critical functions. Yeah, and I mean, maybe there are, and they were just not in the render. See, I guess that's what kind of gets me about the new 2021 Model S and X's, is really all we've seen are renders. We've seen a few spy shots of the exterior when they were rolling around the factory, kind of cruising with some prototype vehicles, but we haven't actually seen a real interior
picture,
or images of it.
And it's kind of getting weird because they shut down the factory at the end of December, and here we are, second week of February, and we knew they were going to be shut down for like 18 days. But even if they started back up after that, it's surprising we haven't seen any cars pushed out onto the parking lot yet.
It makes me think that this is actually taking them a lot longer than they anticipated,
Yeah.
which is not always a good sign, because it could mean that there's one simple part that's holding up everything.
Yeah.
That's normally how it is everything is there, but one part, either the tooling wasn't quite right and they're finding that now in production, or something isn't quite lining up.
And it must be like a major part that they can't jury rig something, because as we saw with the Model Y when it came out, they had certain parts that, like, was it the close to the heat pump?
Yeah, it was the heat pump.
But they put different parts
The
on
radiator
there.
on the heat pump.
Yeah, the radiator, and it looked like some like wooden trim or some
plastic
plastic
trim,
simulated wood trim
or acrylic. There were several different pieces,
all different kinds. So you could see that they didn't hold up the line. They went and got something that solved the problem. Might not look prettiest, but 99.9% of people probably never going to see that part. So if there is delays, if there are delays on the S and X, it's something one of the suppliers is probably not providing those necessary parts.
Yeah.
So hopefully it will be something new, because Elon mentioned a couple weeks ago deliveries in February, so they've got to be having a call here in the next 2 weeks.
Yep, exactly. On said, playing devil's advocate here, Taycan 4S rear world range greater than EPA estimates. Tesla's rear world range is less than EPA estimates.
And I guess it depends on the
What is
speed,
the
because the
EPA?
EPA estimate
I guess
is when
so.
you're driving like 55 or something,
Yeah.
but nobody drives at that, because as we saw back in 2017, was it, when you did was it 2018 when you did the Model 3?
Yes,
I mean, Eric
Model
was
3.
able to drive a Model 3 over 600 miles, even though the range was like 300 at the time. But no, that's because he drove at a different speed. But I guess it's possible Taycan is their range is at 75, 80 mile per hour speeds, but the EPA range is at a slower speed than what people typically drive on the highway every day.
Exactly. But I also think, I'm curious to see what the EPA does for these new 2021s, which they haven't gone through all testing yet.
Yeah, and so
there's
we
that.
did see that the S went up slightly, the X went down slightly, but we're also wondering too, maybe once they do some official testing, maybe those numbers will be bumped up, because we've seen in the past with the 3 and the S and the X and the Y that they've had many updates over the years where some of the cars were released with one range and then they bumped it up by 10, 20 miles afterwards.
Yeah. Michael said, Clubhouse chat with Eric and David, +1. Maybe. I actually do have an iPad and I was able to get it installed on there, so maybe we will. It was kind of a nightmare. Matt said Kyle, he did the coast to coast in the Taycan 4S at 70 miles an hour and got like 280 miles. Impressive. I'll have to check that out.
What's the rated range?
I don't even think it's 280 though.
But I know I've gotten
I think it's under that.
I mean, we've done quite well. I mean, on my S90D, I was able to go about 250, no problem on the highway.
Yeah.
And it was rated for 290 or something like that.
Yo.
And that was like 75, 80 miles an hour.
Abstract Ocean.
Hello.
Claps in chat. And hey, confetti for Abstract Ocean. Said GM's EV
Where's their
ambition
logo?
wasn't what?
Where's their logo?
Time out. When they go in chat, we can
It's abstract
pop that
Ocean
up.
in the house.
Just a GM's EV ambition wasn't a commitment, just a goal aspiration. Very different. Interesting. Didn't know that. That changes content drastically. I want like commitment, like on paper commitment.
Well, I think they're going to have to because I think
they are for sure.
All these other countries, are banning the sale of ICE vehicles in the coming decades, and so if GM and these other manufacturers don't commit to it, they're not going to have any customers.
Yeah, very true. Or they just won't be able to drive their cars in certain areas, which will then affect customer base. Matt and On, 2 Model Y questions about the 7-seater. Matt said, what do we think of it? And On said, are we going to retrofit a third row into the Model
No.
Y? Definitely not going to retrofit it. We've only seen pictures. I haven't been able to
I saw a video today. I will share it with you later.
A video, but I want to see it like... I want to feel the 7-seater. I want to sit in the 7-seater. This is how I imagine I'm going to be sitting.
It looks tiny. It's like if you thought these are seats from the third row Model X, which we've sat in, and I sit in every time we do a live stream. But in the vehicle, there's limited legroom, but it's still doable, especially in a 6-seater or if you're shorter. But in the video and the pictures I've seen of the Model Y 7-seater, I would only consider it for kids or for really, really short people. Because basically when the hatch is up, your head is like totally sticking out. And when the hatch goes down, the glass is almost touching your head if you're like 5'7" or so.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, we were not going to be retrofitting and we're not going to be getting a 7-seater, but we don't need a 7-seater.
We are still waiting to check one out though, because we still want to do that for sure. Chris said, isn't it crazy the Plaid Plus comes with 19-inch Tempest? For that money, you should get a special color option and special wheels. Agreed. But it doesn't come out till late 2021, so there's still time for them to do something special on that point. But to be honest, if you're going to a drag strip or like really kind of launching the car and playing with it, which at 1.99 seconds, 0 to 60, people are going to be doing that a lot. A 19-inch tire is not necessarily bad because it's going to keep weight down a little bit and everything, but I definitely think they should do something a little different. Even if it's just a different wheel cover.
I wouldn't be surprised if something changed on that because I'm not a huge fan of the Tempest, but especially
I actually don't mind them.
Yeah.
See, this is where we differ a little bit. I don't mind the Tempest. He doesn't like the Tempest.
Yeah. But
so what are we going to do with the new car?
Well, we're going to get him with the
T-Sport
Tempest.
lines.
Yeah, but we'll get him with the Tempest because we don't have to pay extra for him. Then we'll get the T-Sport lines.
Got it.
And we'll choose whatever we want.
Got it. Makes sense. Let's see. Did you notice that Tesla added 10 miles to the new 2021 Model X? Did they update it?
Oh, because it was like 360. Originally, the last long range was like 369, I believe, and they lowered it down to 360. So it'd be interesting if they did bump it up.
So the long range is 360.
No, so that's... Oh, but did they change it on the...
The Plaid is 340.
I don't remember what the numbers were on there, but I know that it was 360 when they announced it back on the 27th.
Oh, okay.
And the thing is, one thing to point out too is this is called the long range, whereas previously they were selling the long range plus, and so that means that leaves room. They're going to be coming out with a long range plus. Who knows if it's going to be later in 2021 or if it's going to be 2022? And it'll bump that range up again. Hopefully, we'll finally see the X above 400 miles.
Yep. Mateo said, wouldn't the Audi compare with the Model S, not the Roadster, right? Well, originally we thought it would hopefully be better specs than the S and more like the Roadster, but things have changed. The title has actually been changed. It might take a while to
we mentioned that right when we started the video. We thought, this is no competition to the next gen Roadster. It's not even a competition to the Model S.
Yep. Let's see. Chris said, would you guys think the 3D vector space bird's eye view coming in V11 would be better or worse than normal bird's eye view in other luxury cars?
It'll be different.
I'm curious. I just they don't have the cameras in the right location to do a true
up close, like right in front of the bumper,
exactly,
and right down by the side of the car. So that part might be lacking.
What if the new 2021 S is an X? Have cameras in other spots.
Well, that's what I said earlier.
Yeah.
I said there's chances there could be additional sensors, different cameras, different radars. We don't know.
Yeah.
Or something, because we do see that at the FCC, there's some current equipment being tested that's under confidentiality that can't be released yet.
Yep.
But there's some new equipment that Tesla is testing with the FCC.
Yeah.
And so there could be new sensors added.
Yep. Apple Review said, what brand speaker do Teslas have? They are in-house now, right?
I don't know, but I know that, like, isn't it Bang & Olufsen or something for the Audi?
I believe so.
But I don't know, but I know that they did. I mean, the Audi or the Tesla system is pretty good, and they've bumped it up to like 20 speakers and the active noise cancellation. So I'm really looking forward to testing that out.
Yep. Let's see. Rideshare 2K17OH said, any updates on Cybertruck? No.
Nothing
Nothing yet.
I haven't heard anything recently.
But the Austin factory is coming right along. It's actually going real quick. Let's see. Steve said, my worry with Elon is he's autonomy obsessed. Not everyone will want to give up full control. I like to physically drive, for example. FSD won't be effective in the UK either. Our roads suck. I mean, I don't see them making the steering wheel disappear for 2 decades. Is that
I don't know if it'll take
earlier?
that long, but yeah.
Maybe
I think
earlier, I don't know.
People will still be driving. And that's another thing too. Right now, our cars have full self-driving. We have the package, but we don't have the beta, so we don't have all that city driving and stuff like that. But I think it does great on highways, especially in the United States and Canada, some places that do have more space than like the UK. But I don't know. I would probably still drive around town myself. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Once we get it turned on, maybe I will let it take over. I don't know.
It'll take some time to trust it, I think,
Yeah.
is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Building Project Tesla said it was 350 when the 21 page came out. Now it's 360. Interesting. Okay. I mean, it's good. It's at least 360. Matthew said, I'm glad you liked the video of the Model Y 7-seater. I thought it was very funny seeing the guy's head sticking out when the rear
Who was that?
open.
Was it Matthew or
Matthew
Yeah, I think he's the one
Hanlon?
that, he might have been he might have been the one that sent me the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. I just want to see it in person and like sit in it because I'm having a hard time wrapping my head about how it's going to work. We'll see.
It just doesn't look, again, it looks, if you're tall, your head is basically up against the bar there too. So that would not be safe in an accident.
Yep. Let's see. Timothy said Tesla is doing audio in-house. And let's see. Also, Chris said, didn't Tesla mention Bose for noise canceling? I didn't hear that.
I don't know. I did a search though, and I found a Bose. They have like quiet
for auto.
Yeah, and we should look that up. But it was like a quiet comfort or something. Bose active noise cancellation, and they showed an animation of how they have the microphone spread throughout the cabin of the car and speakers in it, and it can read it in and it instantly does the reverse sound, which can cut out a lot of that road noise and other wind noise and stuff like that. So I don't know if this is Bose for Tesla. I hadn't heard that yet, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Mark said, for the record, active noise cancellation just uses regular audio system speakers, not special separate speakers.
Well, but there's more speakers. There's like 20
there's
speakers
a lot
now.
more, yeah.
And so by having multiple speakers around,
Yeah.
it makes it so each passenger gets it. Because if you only had like 4 speakers, it's not going to cancel it out because each part, that's why you need the microphones too. You can't just have one microphone or something.
You
have
need
to have them
many.
throughout the car so it can cancel it out at each location in the car.
But the great thing with that we've kind of talked about a little bit before is we're really hoping that the front passengers can have different music or listen to something different than like the rear passengers and it not affect
That could
the
be
other people in the cabin.
within limits. I mean, you might hear something, but it might be possible that they could have different music or sounds, front row and the second row.
That would actually be really cool. Cameron said MCU 3 retrofit into older Model SX and 3. I mean, probably not.
Yeah, we don't even know yet. You would think it's a new MCU 3, but we don't know yet.
I mean, so I guess here's the thing is the Model 3 and Y, I'm getting a very important call. I need you to...
Okay. But yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, Tesla's calling me right now.
Oh, probably just about your... Oh, it's probably about... Hey, we saw... It's probably what the price... It's like, oh yeah, we saw you were asking about your price locked in. No. But no, anyways, for the MCU3, we don't know because that's why we're waiting for that call from Tesla where Elon said they're going to be discussing all the specs of the new S and X. And you would assume since they've refreshed so many things and added the other screen that they're going to have perhaps an updated MCU, but I don't think they're going to have it upgradable like they did for the older S and X's, which had MCU1. And basically, I think Tesla just kind of messed up on that, and they didn't plan accordingly. They only put 8 gigabytes in the old MCU1, and then that led to a lot of problems because they were logging to it so much. and basically it wore out the memory, and that chip wasn't really designed to last for the whole life of the car. And basically, last year they started using a larger memory chip, was like 64 gigabytes, which should easily last for 20 years. But also they reduced the logging and they've changed the software so it shouldn't cause those memory issues. And for those of you who also know, we upgraded one of our cars that had MCU1 to the MCU2, and it's like a brand new car. It brought our 2017 model S100D up to be almost equivalent to a 2020, late 2020 functionality wise, because you can play Netflix, you can do YouTube, you can play all the different games, but it just got the speed and the navigation, everything is just as fast on the new cars. And we actually have finally decided we were taking in this S75D as well. We were waiting to see with the recall that Tesla had for the eMMC chip. We had started seeing some slowdowns on the MCU1 with that S75D, but sounds like they're not really rolling out the recall until March, and we didn't want to wait for that. So we have decided, Tesla lowered the price of the MCU2, so it's now $1,500, and we're going to be upgrading that car to the MCU2 as well, just because we've been so pleased with it on the S100D, adding it to the S75D as well.
I'm back. Tesla called. Perfect timing, Tesla. Love it. Were you just talking about what's happening tomorrow?
Oh, so it's not about still no word on the price.
Yeah,
and stuff like
it's
that.
just about tomorrow's stuff. Yeah. Did you fill them in?
Yeah, I said we're upgrading the S75D.
Perfect.
Yeah.
They were just telling me how to like make sure drop off the car. It's contactless. Yada.
So
yada,
for
yada.
that MCU upgrade, yeah, you definitely take it into the service center. It's not something they do mobile anymore, just because sometimes when they reinstall the software, they have to copy over your certificates and everything from your old MCU, and sometimes it doesn't take the first try, and it can sometimes take hours. And so now they do all those upgrades in the service center.
Yep. Back to what I was kind of going off on. As far as the new Model S and X's, we don't know if the MCU and FSD is still going to be separate. Versus
Yeah, it
like
could
the
be
3 and
I
the Y
would-
is now one unit.
Yeah, I would guess it's going to be sandwiched together, and they
Yeah.
might be different versions, but I could see them putting them together like that.
Which then leads... Actually, no. That would make sense that it'll probably all still be behind the glove box in the
Yes.
new... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because the screen.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
So I think they will be, but we were discussing, or while you were gone, I brought up, we don't know, it kind of makes sense they might have upgraded to an MCU3.
I would hope so.
With all
I
the
mean,
other changes they're making,
exactly.
why not bring out something? Because again, this MCU2 has probably been out, we know it's been in use in the S and X since 2018, and
Yeah.
you know, the Model 3 since it first came
Well,
into production.
it says
in
they have
2017.
like 10 teraflops for gaming and everything, so I would assume it's new MCU altogether.
Yeah, that's why it remains to be seen. Is there a whole separate computer for that, or are they counting? Is that the MCU3
Yeah.
that provides that functionality?
Yep. Let's
We need
see.
that call.
Chris said, any possibility if there's a subscription service for FSD, couldn't there be a cheaper option for enhanced autopilot?
I've heard a lot of people
Yeah.
asking that. We were just talking about enhanced autopilot right before this, because that's what we have on the S100D, S75D, and it does almost everything except for the city driving, which we don't have the beta for yet. But it's great on the highway, and it'll almost drive the car all the way on the highway, taking off ramps, on ramps, because it includes that navigate on autopilot, auto lane change, and auto steering. And it would be nice if they did have a cheaper version of enhanced autopilot available. Tesla did recently bring out enhanced autopilot in like Europe and China, which hopefully they're trying to get people to buy into that, and it's a cheaper option. But if they're offering that, hopefully they'll bring it back as like a subscription in the United States as well.
Yep. Let's see. Matthew Hanlon was the one who sent you the video of the Model
Okay,
Y.
cool. Thanks, Matthew.
So he will show me that as soon as
Yeah,
we conclude. Next up, Chris said, I'm super excited for the Roadster to start deliveries.
We are too.
I can't even tell you how excited I am for that. And V11 to be released. I'm also excited for the M1X Max from Apple. I mean, I don't know about that because I don't really do Apple.
Yeah, but
Insert Samsung.
Samsung S21 Ultra.
S21 Ultra. But I am very excited for the Roadster. I'm very excited for Cybertruck.
Yeah, we're excited for all the.
I'm very excited for the refresh 2021 Model S and X.
I mean, he was so excited that when it first came out, he said, "Yeah, we're getting both the S and the X." And I was like, "Wait a minute, we already have two S's in the garage.
So we're gonna get rid of both S's.
I don't know if we need to get another S."
I don't know. We'll figure it
But
out.
the nice thing though about the S100D is it still is locked in with like the free supercharging for life. I've never paid a penny on road trips. Huh.
Yeah, but we also have well over 100,000 miles of free supercharging, and supercharging is so cheap.
Thanks to the referrals. Thank you.
Yeah, and supercharging is so cheap. I don't even, and we don't really even do a ton of road trips anyway. I don't even care if I have
Not
to
this
pay
year,
for
not
it.
last year. Yeah.
Amy said, I want noise canceling so I can make the kids silent in the back seat. What an epic use case.
That would be nice. That'd be nice. I don't know if it's that good yet.
Such an epic use case. Mando X Games, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Said, more confetti. There you go. By the way, what do you guys think about Elon's purchase of Bitcoin? Okay, so we're going to go over that a lot more on Sunday.
I think it was good, though. We'll just say really quick, I think it was good. I saw a lot of articles today saying it's horrible and it shows they're desperate. But they can have an automatic sell order and they can make it so there's no way they could lose money.
They've already made potentially another $1 billion.
Yeah, it was a good thing.
So depending on when they had bought, there's potential where they could have almost been up another $1 billion. I'm in favor of it. I love it. I'm also a big Doger. Can we coin that term? Oh, get it? See, coin that term. Get it? I've been playing a lot with Dogecoin.
I still don't understand, though, how when Elon mentioned, too, that they're going to start accepting Bitcoin as payment. I still don't know how that works because with the fluctuation.
It's not just fluctuation, but what if I bought Bitcoin at $7 and used 2 Bitcoins to pay for an $80,000 car?
That's fine.
How do you pay for those gains?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into
tax
this.
Implications.
And we will be diving deep into that in a future episode.
I don't understand that yet, too. Yeah, that's just... Yeah.
We're going to be diving deep into that, so just stay tuned. Video coming
Not
soon.
today.
Not today, but there's so many little nuances and things. I just don't know.
I still don't, it's just weird. I don't know. We'll talk about cryptocurrency some other day, but I admit I own a few Dogecoin and stuff like that, and a little decimal point of Bitcoin, but I don't get it. It's one of those things. It's like, why is it worth anything?
All I see is it's a positive number, so I'm loving it.
Yeah, we've got money. Yeah, it goes up.
Let's see. But yes, we will get more into Bitcoin, how that ties into Tesla, Dogecoin, and everything in a future video. Let's see. Chris said rear seats might want to hear game sounds and front music and navigation directed at the driver. Yeah. There are so many great use cases for active noise cancellation, and that's why, I mean, we've been wanting that for forever too. But also a big complaint is people will say, I hear the road, there's so much road noise in a Tesla, and it's because you don't have a giant engine in front of you drowning that out. You still get that same road noise in a normal car typically. So the nice thing is they'll be able to erase that. And that I really like. But I don't know necessarily how they're going to make sure they don't erase like siren noises and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see how it works. I can't wait to play around with it. Let's see. Mark said rear seats can just use headphones as far as I'm concerned. True.
I'm just jumping around. I don't know where you're at, but I see Steve was saying, he was asking about the referral miles. They're not locked into a specific car. Basically, they're per account. So all the cars you have on account that don't have free supercharging can use those miles. So like we went, and you can use them on the 3 or the Y, or if we get a new Roadster or Cybertruck or whatever, if they still are around, then they would apply to that car too.
Are you in chat, Chris? Is Chris in chat?
There's a lot of Chris's. Are you talking about Chris?
Don't say who that is.
Yeah, Chris.
Okay, Chris, yeah.
Why
Chris is calling me
Why would
now.
be calling if he's in the chat, though?
You know what? I should hook up my phone because I can actually do that to this.
But watch him drop some top secret information.
I know. And then we can have like people calling. Oh, this could be fun. This could be like a radio show. Okay.
Yeah.
Timothy said the new Cadillac Escalade has 36 speakers tuned by AKG.
Wow, 36.
Do you think Tesla is still competitive? We'll have to play around with it.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
The Escalade is a massive vehicle. It has 3 rows and a full-size trunk still. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go play around with it.
My last car before the Tesla had 4 speakers in it. So, anything over 4 is good to me.
Anything. God. Let me just let Chris know we're in a live stream right now. Yeah. He's live on camera. Let's see. Building Project Tesla said, I have a whole Tesla playlist and half of it is you guys. Honored. Thank you very much. Let's see. Chris said they replaced both screens on the MCU2 upgrade. Well, there's still the
Yeah.
option to not change out the main, right?
I don't know, because at one time you could save like $250 by keeping the center screen, but they do have to replace the instrument cluster because in older cars that had MCU 1, that was actually a separate computer that was just connected in. But now with MCU 2, it's just an extra display that connects in and runs off MCU 2.
Yeah.
So they will replace that screen, definitely, the instrument cluster. But I think they're going to be changing all those, but you never know. If they drop the price by $1,000, maybe they're like, okay, just keep the existing screen and dump in the computer. We don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow, I guess.
Yep.
The cool thing, though,
let's
as
see.
part of that MCU2 upgrade,
Yeah.
they are also upgrading it. That car does not have full self-driving, but they're upgrading it.
Yeah. Video coming
Well, the hardware.
Yeah.
We're not getting the features.
We'll dive into it a little bit later. Let's see. Octavio said, "Does the new X still have falcon wing doors?" Yes, because if it didn't, we were gonna cancel.
Yeah,
Well, at least that's how I felt.
They didn't make really many exterior changes at all to the S and X from what we've seen from the renders. And again, we're just going off a couple pictures, but it looks like almost the exterior is very similar. Only change was maybe the chrome delete.
Yeah.
Was one thing, maybe a slight change to the bumpers, but they still have the doors, maybe change the wheels and stuff like that, at least on the X.
Luso Sailor said, "Is it possible that Tesla share the computer and graphic power of their fleet to mining bitcoins while connected to
We've talked
Wi-Fi
about
and
that
4G?"
too.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll dive into that as well, because it's not necessarily mining bitcoins, but because I don't think any more bitcoins can be. No, yeah, you can still mine Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But maybe potentially other
And
things.
that's what somebody,
You never
I
know.
saw the comment, I don't see where it went, but somebody was saying, oh yeah, there was Pete, was saying he says buying Bitcoin was cool except for the environmental impact because you're using all that electricity to mine it. And it's just like, yeah, what is it? So yeah.
Unless your solar power, like our house.
But they're still using that energy, which then could have been used for something else.
True.
So yeah, it's just like, it's true.
Yeah, a lot of weighing and balancing.
But we do.
everything.
But like, what's his name? WK057.
Yeah.
He has like all the solar powered like Bitcoin mining machines, and he's got tons of solar.
Yeah.
So some people do it in with the power of the sun.
If I would have known it was going to get to this point, I would have been doing it 10 years ago too.
Yeah.
Tom's Turbo Garage, thank you for the $5 super chat. Said, "Hi fellas, do you think we are still having a Model S and X refresh call presentation of some sort like Elon mentioned?
they're
or is it
definitely have to have
unnecessary now?"
No.
It's 100% necessary.
There's so many unanswered questions.
So many unanswered questions, and all we've seen are renders. This is like my big thing. Oh, I better turn that off. This is my big thing right now, is I want to see real pictures and real video and stuff like that. Is all we've seen so far are the renders.
And hopefully it won't be...
Renders can be missing things or not show things correctly.
That's why I'm hoping it's not going to be a phone call. Hopefully it'll be
Presentation.
or a live stream.
Or live stream,
Just, even if they can't invite anybody, drive it on stage, open it up, and show it to us
And
live.
see, I don't even care if it's pre-recorded. I just want to see what it looks like.
Like the Lucid Air one was totally pre-recorded, or it seemed that way.
Yeah.
But at least they showed a lot of detail.
You know what, Tesla, if you're listening, Elon, this is for you. Hit me up. You can send an S and X to the house.
Oh yeah.
I'll pay for transport. Maybe I'll just buy the vehicles. We'll say that, and we'll show them off for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we could do the live stream for you.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Pete corrected me. He says there's actually 22 speakers, so I lost a couple. I said there are only 20 on the new S and X.
That's still crazy. That'll be really kind of fun to play around with. Let's see.
Did you get the other super chat? I can't remember.
Yeah, we did it.
Okay, that was the one just right there. Okay.
No. Yas said, "Do you guys have any FOMO because of Clubhouse? iPhone users are what Tesla fans are having a good time there." I mean, I have an iPad, and the only reason I have an iPad is because my speed device and what I use for track timing only uses Apple products, so I got an iPad for that.
But who's to say we're not using some super secret Android app that Apple users don't even know about?
Bazinga.
Maybe not.
Anyway, I'm not necessarily FOMO'd, but Clubhouse, there's pros and cons to it, to be honest. I don't know. I'm still like on the fence about it because it's like one more thing I gotta download.
Yeah,
and keep
there's so
track
many different
of.
chat apps and stuff like that. I haven't seen it yet at all. But it's just like, why isn't there an Android version yet? I'd never heard about it before.
Or is there one being tested?
I don't know.
Anyway, D said once you place an order, is Is it too late to add a referral even 2 weeks after order was placed? As long as you haven't taken delivery yet,
There's possibility.
there's a possibility. So just contact Tesla, or you can actually do it maybe even through the online chat, and ask them if they can add that for you. I've heard it's kind of hit and miss after adding it after ordering. But if you wait till after delivery, it's like 99% chance of not adding it.
Some people are still able to get it added, so it doesn't hurt to ask.
Yep. Because I have made that mistake myself. Let's see. You answered that. Pete said, oh yeah, we already talked about the environmental fact of Bitcoin mining. Got it. Let's see. Mark said cryptocurrency is fine right up until it dies, which is inevitable. As long as you get out before then, it's good. I mean, I think it could potentially stick around a lot longer than people think.
I just wish I would have known about it 10 years ago.
Facts. True. But it's kind of like hindsight always, because like, if I knew where Tesla would have been now, I would have been sinking a lot more money into it 4 or 5 years ago than I did. Live and learn. What?
Model Y is getting a software update. Let's see. We just got a notification. It says
ours is.
Oh, 20. Oh, it's a new version. Here, you heard it here first. 2021.4. We predicted 2021.4 would be the new version.
Somebody's excited.
It is now 2021.4.2. Just hit our Model Y, and I predicted that version. It's probably been about 8 weeks ago, but it is now here. And we will.
Wait, is there going to be something special on this? Do we need to record this?
We have no idea, but we might leave the live stream. But if there's any cool release notes, we'll let you know. Yeah. Eric will tweet it out.
Let's see. Pete said, how picky should I be with noises in my Tesla? I get some creaks from interior when accelerating that bothered me. If they bother you, I would be concerned. I don't know how Tesla has been. I've heard that they're not really doing too much investigating on noises too much, but if it's bothering you, I don't think it would hurt to call them and maybe just do like a quick drive with them to see if they can figure out what's going on. Because if it bothers you, you should raise that concern, I think. Let's see. Did you start the download, by the way?
Oh, yeah. It's
cool.
actually installing. It already downloaded. It's installing right now.
Okay, cool.
Remember the old days we had to actually go out to the garage and to the car to turn it, and now we can do it from our phones.
It was awful.
Yeah. Boy, that
nasty.
was like several years ago.
Okay, let's see. I guess I think that's a pretty good point, right where we're at. An hour and 12 minutes. We talked about the GT. Meh. The specs leave a lot to be desired. The looks, I actually do enjoy it. So I guess we'll go ahead and end it there. We'll talk a lot more, obviously, about more Tesla news and everything on Sunday.
And we'll tweet if there's any special release notes. Definitely subscribe to Eric's or my Twitter accounts or Instagram, and we will let you know if there's anything special in there.
Yeah, it's all.
What if it's V11?
Somebody else said they got 2020.4.2 on their Model Y right now too. So maybe it's going down, everybody. Let's see. Maybe we'll be back later. I don't know. Yikes. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you all so much for hanging out. It was a blast. Definitely, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on that little bell. Can't wait to show everybody the new S and X interior as soon as we can. And we will talk to you guys a little later. Huge thanks to our channel sponsor, though, Abstract Ocean. If you haven't checked them out, please do. Using code Tesla Inventory would you 15% off of your first purchase. But that's basically it. We're going to go check out this new update in the Model Y and see if it's anything fun. Hopefully it is. And we will talk to you all a little later. Bye.